Now, if you're like me and the recent price hikes that Apple did for their entire lineup is making you reconsider whether you should buy a new MacBook Pro or not, welcome to the club. I think any notion that I had of wanting to upgrade went right out the window when I saw the price of the setup that I wanted. So instead, I decided to show my MacBook Pro, the 2021 model with the M1 Max chip, some TLC, and replace the fans, and also go ahead and replace the thermal paste on the CPU. Now, if we look real quick, this is the first time I opened it since 2022, and guys, it's pretty nasty in here. It's like really fine dust that's caking everything. I just do a quick zoom shot here so you can see kind of the nastiness. Also, the fan that I had on my right side, so it would be on the left from what we see, it was starting to make some noises when it started to spool up, and it wasn't bad, it wasn't broken or anything, it's just that I was able to hear it a lot more, so I figured it's a good time to replace the fans too. And the idea is that over the course of the next 3 to 5 years, I'll have no issues running my M1 Max MacBook Pro that has been very diligent in serving me really since 2021, the last 5 years. Now, I did send this into AppleCare twice. The first time was because I was having Bluetooth issues, and the second time they forgot to actually re-plug in back the aux cable connector. So I just went ahead with AppleCare. The first time around, they actually replaced the entire logic board, so I was grateful for that. So what you see here is actually a replacement logic board from 2022, I believe. And all of this took me about 2 hours. I've watched online. I'm really grateful for some online YouTube videos of people breaking it down themselves, and so I just watched that 2 to 3 times on 2x speed, and I decided to record this just for my own documentation. But I'm deciding to actually post this because if it's going to be helpful for anyone who's thinking of opening their MacBook Pro, the M1 Max or the M1 version, M1 Pro as well, this is what it's going to look like. Now, this is a 16-inch model, and I'm doing everything on 20x speed so you can see the whole thing. Because it was my first time, it took a while. It took me a full 2 hours. I don't think it's going to take everyone that long, but I was just being extra cautious because I've only watched the teardown or the disassembly, I think I said 2 to 3 times, but I didn't remember everything, so I just decided to take it really slow in the process that seemed pretty logical to me. Now, you can see that I took off the battery. The first cord cable that you want to take out, of course, is the battery cable. And after you remove everything else, it's really about removing the logic board. Now, removing the logic board was very challenging just because you're constantly double checking. Did I forget to remove a cable? Did I forget something? And you don't want something to snap. But in reality, it's just a really tight fit. And on the top left of the MacBook is your charging port. I'm sorry, it's the HDMI cable, not the charging port. And it's just, it holds the whole thing down. So you have to shimmy the entire logic board out of that corner. And as a result, it's just a really frustrating process. Just a real quick update too. I disassembled the whole thing twice, and the second time around, it probably took me half the time. So about an hour for the full thing, and reassembly as well. But for the first time around, you just want to be extra cautious, extra safe. You're not going to break anything. Make sure all the cables are disconnected. And here we are with the logic board disconnected. So the first step here, of course, will be to replace the fans. I'm currently in Switzerland. I followed my spouse out here, so I got it from just a replacement fans from a supplier out here. The fan replacement is not difficult. It's just that what you'll see is that there are those rubber tabs that cushion and I guess add some vibration dampening for the fans on the logic board. So you want to make sure you pull that off well and then reattach them onto the new fan replacement. The thing is with when you take them off, they're kind of glued on. I didn't have any kind of light adhesive glue on me that I was able to glue back onto the new ones. So they're kind of flopping around. They do sit there, but ultimately it's just gonna sit there, and that'll be a frustrating process when you put those rubber, I guess, I don't know what you would call them, not grommets, but vibration reduction rubber thingies back onto the fans. Fan replacement is pretty straightforward. As you can see, left and right side, make sure you purchase the left and right one. They're not interchangeable, which is, if you're this far in and you're following that, you probably knew that already. But yeah, I mean, I did both, even though just one of them was showing issues, just because it was 5 years in and I'm opening it up. I might as well buy replacements for both. I paid around $40 US per piece, so total is about $80 US for 2 fan replacements. I also bought the thermal paste, which is I think around $20 US, give or take, depending on the brand that you get. And on top of that, I did end up getting thermal pads as well. I don't show that in this video, but those were all the things that I used to disassemble this and replace parts. I did forget to mention that I have the ifixit, the expensive package that they sell. All of the tools that you need to take out the screws, everything for the MacBook Pro is in that package. So you want to make sure that you have all of that. Okay, so this is what the thermal paste looked like. It was a bit scant in the amount that they put. I think it's intentional because they don't want the thermal paste to overflow into where the black thermal paste is. So this first time around, I put what I thought was an okay amount. It did overflow a little bit because I told you I opened it up a second time. And the reason for that was because the CPU seemed to be overheating just a little bit. So I wanted to reopen it to make sure I applied the thermal paste in the correct amount. That is one of the biggest challenges, in my opinion, is that when you're reapplying the thermal paste, to reapply it well, where it's not overflowing into the black thermal paste, the proprietary thermal paste that Apple uses, simply because it's going to affect your cooling capabilities. And that's something I wish I saw more online. Maybe it's because this is my first time applying thermal paste. I maybe applied too much, but I do find my CPU, which I was hoping would be running cooler all the time, actually running a little warmer. So if anyone watching this can tell me with my first application if they saw anything wrong with that. I tried to do the cross pattern when putting the backplate back on, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but at least with the new fans, it's running pretty quiet. Now, putting the logic board back on will be just as frustrating as, if not more, than taking it out. I think anyone going through this process of, if you've gotten this far, will just realize, man, you just have to be really patient as you move things a fraction of a millimeter at a time, making sure all the cables aren't in the way. And if it's not working, it's most likely because there's one stubborn cable that's kind of in the way there. So we want to make sure you're constantly checking every cable as you're shimmying it back from your left. From your left, you want to push it in towards the left direction. Okay, so the first time around, took me 10 minutes. I think it was closer to 15, but anyways, this is the reassembly part. Pretty straightforward. I just started from the bottom middle and worked my way around counterclockwise because that was the way that I disassembled it. And of course, putting down the main screws that hold the logic board in place. Thankfully, as I'm thinking about it right now, it's not too difficult if you watch the process a couple of times. I think it could be daunting if you just don't trust yourself to do it. But if you feel like, hey, there's maybe 50 screws in total, I have the tools, or I bought the ifixit kit, and it's something that I'm interested in doing. If you just take your time, you'll be able to do it. Right here, this is the backplate screw that holds the backplate in place, but mine was threaded out. As you can see on my right, it doesn't actually fit, so I try to put it back, but it doesn't actually stay in place. You'll see that in a little bit towards the end. Anyways, so another part here, Sorry, my head's in the way and the focus is kind of frustrating. I did 20x just so you can see the whole thing. But anyways, I didn't see that little connector. It was hidden under that tab. So I spent maybe another 5 minutes just trying to figure out if the tab was there or if it came without one. Don't forget to plug in the fan, guys. Super important. Obvious. That was the thing I forgot. Okay, so everything was put back together, and thankfully, being the first time around, it worked. I didn't have any issues. I didn't forget to plug anything. But that's a lie. I didn't clip on the USB-C cables. Those weren't fully connected, so I had to open it back up to make sure those connections were well. I struggled with the backplate for a bit, but got it back on eventually. And here we are. Remember to plug in the MagSafe before you press the power button. And once you do that, you see the awesome Apple logo after all your hard work. And I show you that I'm able to actually go to my login page here. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed. See you in the next one.